Hey guys, what's up? Happy Thursday. I wanted to come to you live today to speak about one of my most favorite life coaching tips that have helped me. It has helped me stop my own bullshit. So for those that don't know me, my name is Shannon Wooten. I am a life coach, I'm a writer, and I'm an infertility survivor. I help people step out of the closet, come out from underneath whatever it is that's been holding them back, and encourage them to take up a tremendous amount of space and live a big ass life. So I have my own bullshit, right? I know I'm a life coach, but I'm a human first. It's the number one thing I tell people, human first, okay? Have human shit, still have bullshit. And I wanted to share with you one of my most favorite tips. One of the favorite tips that I learned when I started being life coached. And it is that the voices in your head will always be there, but you do not have to listen. And what that means is you're always going to have that naysaying voice, right? You're going to have that story that you have proof for as to why it's too hard, why you don't have enough money, or why it's selfish or a waste of time for you to do something, investing in yourself, caring about yourself, self-care, well-being, any of that shit. There is always going to be that voice that comes up. There will always be that fear that what you're going to do or what action you're going to take will fail. There will always be that caution of this is a big mistake. You can't do this. This isn't for you. You don't have enough time or enough money. It will always be there. But the important thing to remember is you don't have to listen. And so how do you do that? How do you take something that feels like it's factual? This is proof. This is evidence you have mounted up for years and years and years of your life. And instead of using it as a situation or a circumstance that has occurred and just letting it be that, we collect it. We gather that shit up and we put it in a box and we're like, oh, this is proof. This is proof why this was too hard because I failed at that. And this is proof why I don't have enough money because I have all these other things going on that need the money. And this is proof why it's selfish and a waste of time for me to invest in me. I'm not worth it. These other things are. We collect it and we hold it as proof against ourselves. And it's not wrong, right? There is sometimes that little voice or that little pulling in our gut that's like, I don't know. Maybe this is a calling. Maybe this is a sign from the universe that I shouldn't do it. And so there's a way. There is a way to delineate fact versus interpretation. So I want to invite you to take that on. When those voices come up in your head that say that you shouldn't do something, you shouldn't invest in something, it's going to be too hard, or you're not worth it, I want you to ask yourself, is this a fact or is it an interpretation? So for instance, it's too hard. Is that a fact? Have you even tried? Have you even compiled any information about why it might be too hard? Or what makes you think that you can't do it? Is it a fact? What are you comparing it against? Or is it an interpretation? Is it fear? Is it that proof of all the other circumstances and situations that have come up that you've compiled against yourself that you're using against a decision that you actually want to make? Is it fact or is it interpretation? The other thing that typically comes up is you don't have the money, boo. You ain't got the cash for this. Look at it. Is it fact or is it interpretation? Can you forego getting your hair done every month? Can you forego getting your nails done every month? Can you find another way to come up with the money to make that investment in yourself? If you can, is it fact or is it interpretation? The other thing that comes up typically that I hear is it's selfish. It's a waste of time. Is that fact or is it interpretation? Could you make time? Could you move your schedule around? Could you make it a priority? Literally take some time to look at how you're evaluating this thing that is coming up as like, this is important to me. And decide, is it a gut feeling, a sign from the universe, like I said, that's telling you not to move forward? Or is it all the bullshit that you've compiled in your life that makes you believe this stuff is real? So for me, when I decided to take on life coaching, it's too hard. I'm too old. I'm really not that old. But this is all this stuff, right? Is that a fact? No, it was an interpretation. Is it really going to be too hard to get my ass to DC every month? Is it really going to be too hard to find the money to invest in room and board and taking the time and the energy away from my family? Is it really that hard? Well, I've been doing it for 11 months. So that was an interpretation. You don't have the money. I had this same hang up when I decided to invest in infertility treatments. I didn't have the money. I didn't know how to invest in the IUI. I didn't know how to pay for all the doctor's bills or whatever was going to come up. But I decided, was I really going to let that be a fact? Is it a fact I didn't have the money for this? Or could I take the money that I was putting into something else? A gym membership, getting my hair done every month, getting my nails done, getting massages, getting facials, and could I invest it in this other thing that I wanted? Was it a sign from the universe? Or could I make it happen? It was an interpretation because I found that fucking money. And the last is it selfish or is it a waste of time? When I hired my first life coach, I had no idea, number one, where I was going to find the time. It was too hard. I didn't have enough time. Where I was going to find the money. I was investing all my money in infertility treatments. I didn't have enough money. And it was too selfish. It was a waste of time. What were they going to tell me about me that I didn't already fucking know? I was putting up all these blocks in front of it. All of these stories that I had, not allowing me to take a dive on something that I was feeling called to do. Was it a fact? No, it was an interpretation. Look at me now, I'm a freaking life coach myself. So when I talk to people most often and I get into a coaching conversation, the thing that they seem to have a middle of the road on is, oh, I feel like it's a sign from the universe. I'm not supposed to do that. Look, I believe in manifestation and feeling spiritual calling as much as the next person. However, if you really are feeling it in your gut and what's coming up is an interpretation of all the reasons why you shouldn't, I invite you to look at why you could or why you should or why you would. And give yourself a chance to see, is this shit that's coming up from my past? Is this bullshit stories that happened around that situation or that circumstance that I'm allowed to get in the way of these things that I want now? These things that are different? These things that have nothing to do with any of this other stuff back there? And allow the voices to be there. Allow there to be that naysaying voice that you're selfish, it's a waste of time, you don't have the money, it's going to be too hard, you're not smart enough, you're not thin enough, you're not pretty enough. Allow it to be there and then put it on notice by saying, is this a fact? Or is it an interpretation? All right, guys, thanks so much for signing on. I love ya. I absolutely love ya. I wanted to come live and share this with you because not everything deserves to be in the way of you becoming the next best possible version of yourself. Allow yourself to go for the things that scare you. Allow yourself to defy the voices in your head. Allow them to be there, but not run the show. Or like I always like to say, I love that quote, feel the fear and do it anyways. What's the worst that can happen? All right, guys, thanks so much. Have so much love for yourself this weekend. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Be easy. I love ya, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. Bye.